guys, we're here today. We are going to be covering one of these little mini Bibles from ByTheWell4God. You may have seen these before. We've had them in the shop for a few months or so now. This is the newest set that we have with all the little goodie Bible pieces and the fabric coordinating to the Subject to Change kit for the month of July 2022. And this time we are going to be covering this Bible with my daughter Kinsey.
Hello. This is my mom's and my video. And I'm really excited to do this because it's my first time in this video. But we did other YouTube videos like with that palm tree.
Yeah. So Kinsey has a little Bible similar to this one already that she carries around.
It's orange.
Yes, it is orange.
But it's all
this
messed
one,
up.
I decided to get her her own little kit so she could journal along with me this month. So we're going to cover it and show you all the little pieces inside this mini Bible kit in case you haven't seen it already. And I apologize in advance for my lack of manicure, but I have an anxious daughter who is ready to do this and she wanted to film it for you. So, messed up manicure it is. Anyways, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. So first we're going to open up the kit, show you everything that's included. Kinsey, you want to open it?
Yeah, I'm going to open it. So, I'm going to take this stuff out.
Take whatever this one.
I'm going to take out the book first. So here's the book. I think I can push it out. Look. Push it out.
Okay.
It's blue. It's upside down.
Here.
This is the one.
Okay.
So these are the covers.
He's got the mini Bible here.
So this is paper like to put in it, but we have to cut it because it's way more bigger than the book.
Well, this one, so it can come with the kit. There's a list of everything you get included here. Those are the instructions.
Take a closer look.
Okay. So included in the kit, you'll have some pieces of fabric. This kit, everybody gets the fabric of the lemons. And then you'll get coordinating fabrics here. And these are, see, the fun ones we have.
This is green, included. Or you can do it any way you want.
So you can pick and choose how you'd like to cover yours.
You don't have to copy us, though.
Exactly. You can, or you can
do what you want.
Yeah.
Don't take it for long.
Yeah. So inside the kit, you also get this little package here. And these are the little cards that will fit into the Bible. Now, these two pieces, we are actually going to fold in half. And you're just going to, no, we don't need to cut it, actually. You're just going to fold it in half.
Awkward, like an airplane.
Not like an airplane. And let me... So you're going to fold that in half, and these pieces will
put
go
it in the Bible
on the front, inside like that, and then the second one will go on the back side like this to cover the edges, the raw edges of fabric that we fold in here. So that's what these pieces are going to be for. That's why we have two bigger ones. And then inside the kit...
So now we don't have to fold this one because they are cool.
We don't need to cut it or throw it away. And then inside this little packet, you have 4 different colors of cards. Was it 4?
And these are...
Hold on.
These look like 3 stickers.
We have all of these.
So don't worry, because you could let any of your kids have these if you don't need extras. Or you could give it to a different parent if they like it.
Okay, so you've got 36 journaling tip-in style cards here, and they are already pre-cut. They fit perfectly.
These are all different. I did not know.
They have a flat side and then a curved side, so they fit perfectly inside of your Bible. So they're already pre-cut for you.
And you don't have to cut them. If you do, you're doing the wrong thing.
So there's all those cards there, and then as Kinsey already showed you, it comes with 4 pages of stickers. So there's 2 sheets.
I can't wait to do this. I just want to do it right now.
I know, 2 sheets of each, and then some really cute little bumblebees and lemons
and other kinds of bees.
Some lemonade. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to drink the lemonade.
So what we're going to do, we've showed you the contents, and now we're going to go ahead and get started and get the fabric cut. You ready to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So after deciding what design you want to do with your fabric, Kenzie decided she wanted to do one type of fabric on the front and another on the back. So I took 2 pieces, laid it on top of the Bible to make sure I had enough. You want to make sure you have enough fabric to cover over the edges. So you don't want to cut it too short. So I decided after laying it out that I could cut each piece in half and have plenty of space on the edges. So I cut right down the middle, and I'm setting the scraps to the side to use for bows or something later on in our journaling. So laid it out, decided where we wanted it, and here I'm using Tombow Clear Gel. It's acid free and it's really easy to move around. There's 2 tips. I really like this glue. So here Kenzie kind of helped me smooth that out on the sides. You want to make sure you get over the edge because we are going to curve the fabric around the edge of the binding and on the edges of the Bible where we're going to fold it over. So here you're just pressing it down really well. You want to make sure you get on all the edges, glue it down real good. And this part does get a little bit messy. It gets a little bit sticky, and also depending on what type of glue you're using too. But here my hands got a little bit messy, so you just want to be mindful of that. And then we took our other fabric, and Kenzie is smearing around the glue here. She did a fabulous job. And again, making sure we get on the binding and on the outer edges of the Bible so we can fold it over and everything glues down really well. So we took the other fabric, kind of centered it up, and these have vertical lines, so we wanted to make sure they were going up and down, and we pushed down all the sides over the edge. And since she decided to do 2 different types of fabric, both edges curve around, and you do see that little blue gap there. We're going to cover that up with a 3rd piece of fabric. So Kenzie chose to do this blue fabric here. So I just kind of held it over the binding of the Bible to make sure we had enough to go around the edges. I think it ended up being about 1 3/4 inch. Made a little mark, used the ruler to make it straight, and then I trimmed it up. And we are going to again add the glue over the binding over top of the fabric that's already there. And I was trying to lay it out to make sure I got about the same amount of fabric over the edge of the front and the back to try to make it look nice. So we put the glue and carefully laid it down, kind of stretched the fabric out a little bit because you are putting this glue on top of the fabric for this design, to say. It all depends on kind of how you decide to do your own. The last journal or the last Bible I covered, I just did all in one fabric. So it really depends on what you decide to do with yours. But we wanted to make it really polished look here, so we wanted to add the 3rd to cover up those edges of the fabric. So I'm lifting up the edges here because they weren't quite glued down very well, so we added a little bit more, smeared it around, and really pushed the edges down good so everything was really nice and tight. And you also want to remember that when you're using your Bible, you're going to open it up. The spine is going to stretch and fold, so you want to make sure you have it on there really good and tight. So here, while everything else is still gluing, I made some little slits on the corners because we're going to be folding the fabric in. So these little slits on the edges help the fabric fold in without it bunching up a whole lot. So here, putting some glue on the inside edge, and we are going to take the fabric and pull it really tight and fold it in on the corners. And you can see how those little slits make it really nice and even, and you don't have a bunch of bunching from the fabric pulling. So I found that really makes it a lot easier and a lot smoother. So going back in, making sure all the edges are glued down. I did a little bit of trimming here and there, making sure any overlapping fabric also had a little bit of glue underneath. And then I secured the edges with a paper clip. Now, this is good. The Bible's going to need some time to dry, so putting the little clips or paper clips or something you want to use to hold the fabric down will really help it stay nice and tight while it's drying. So I highly recommend those. Paper clips are just really handy, and about everybody has one of those. So we're going down on the edges, gluing them down really well. And you might have some little loose pieces here and there you can just pull off. And then we're going to go back and do the same thing on the back side. Add some more glue to the edges. Now you're just doing the edges here. Later we will be gluing something on the center portion, but you don't want to get more glue in there than you really need right now. So again, just doing the edges and pulling the inside in nice and tight. And you can also, if you have too much extra fabric, you can trim it down. But when you start originally, it's better to have a little bit too much fabric than to not have enough. So if you get to this point and realize, hey, I've got way too much fabric, just trim it down a little bit so you have enough of a lip to really pull it in nice and tight and glue it down. So we've got the bottom edge here, gluing those down, making sure we have enough glue, and then making them nice and tight with the paper clips. Now, as you can see, we have these little pieces that are on the top of the spine. And this little piece right here, because we did do the 3 types of fabric, I have to go back in, add a little bit more glue, and kind of glue the fabric down onto the other fabric, just to make sure everything is nice and secure and tight when it dries. So it's kind of another extra step that you might not need to do if you don't have 3 different types of fabric on yours. But Kenzie was really excited and wanted to use as much of her stuff as possible. So anyways, here we're kind of trimming the pieces on the end. There's a couple pieces we didn't really need. And then I bent the Bible to make that gap, added some glue down inside of the spine, and then you're going to take that little extra piece of fabric and you're going to take either a paper clip or the bottom side of a small paintbrush, something like that, and you're going to push, sorry, I'm a little off camera here, you're going to push it down into the hole that the spine creates when you kind of open up the Bible. And you're going to do that on both sides. Squeeze some glue down in there and then just push it down into that hole really well. Get the fabric all the way down in there, push it against the back side, just kind of play with it a little bit so it'll give you a really nice, tight, finished, clean edge there. So you can see we've got all of that wrapped up, and now that we've got the cover finished, we're going to go right into taking those extra inside your kit. There are 2 large pieces of colored paper that are bigger than all the other ones used for the tip-ins. And these you don't want to do anything to except simply fold them in half. So you're going to fold them in half really well, make a nice sharp edge, and then you're going to glue one of the insides of your Bible and line up the folds of your Bible and your paper there. And you're going to press the inside in really nice and tight, and then close it up and press the edges down, and you will have a really nice, polished, clean look with that covers up the edges of your fabric. So this is a really nice touch that they include in the kit, and it just really makes everything look really nice and finished. And it's so simple. Nothing needs to be done but just simply folding it and gluing it in. So we're doing it to this back side here, and we're adding the glue. We folded it up, and we're just going to pop it right in there. Super easy, super fast, and it really does make the Bible look so nice and just a cohesive design. I really love those pieces. So you're going to make sure you have plenty of glue on the edge, and then attach your paper clips back, because that's going to also hold them down to your fabric while it's drying. So everything will be really nice and tight while you are letting it dry. Now, depending on what type of glue you decided to use, it might need to take a little longer than others to dry. Oh, and I almost forgot, Kenzie wanted to add yet another piece of fabric, so we have our 4th piece here. She wanted to add like a little belt looking spot on hers, so we trimmed one of the smaller pieces down, and just this one's a little more raw looking. I wasn't worried about the edges, and I lifted, since this was a last minute thought, I lifted up the edge of the paper before it was completely dry and kind of tucked it in there, so that little edge piece is covered as well. So we tucked it in and then simply put the glue underneath that piece of fabric. I added another little clip there to hold it nice and tight, and then we added the glue and slowly and carefully wrapped it around the edge and glued that down. So this added another little unique look to her Bible, and then trimmed any extra off. This one just didn't want to stick, so I had to keep adding more glue to it. And then lifted, trimmed a little bit extra off, and then tucked it right inside underneath that second piece of paper, and then adding another clip to really hold that down so we could give everything a chance to dry really well. And then once you finish everything you wanted to glue down, you're going to let it sit there and dry. And like I said, depending on the glue you have, you might need to take a little longer, but you want to let it sit and dry really good before you move on to the next step. All right, we're back and the Bible is completely dry. We are ready to go and add the final details to it. So Kenzie, what did you want to add onto the front of your Bible?
These little things.
Okay.
Let's get that Bible out and measure it.
So we got a wax sealing, little kit to create some wax seals. So we are going to add a fun little bee wax seal on the front right here.
The 3 colors
Okay.
we could choose.
So which one of those do you like best? Like,
these are so good, but I want white.
You want the white one? Okay. I'll put all the back.
All
right, and let's go
I'm
ahead
mixing them
and
up.
set our little thing up, and we're going to mix them.
Mix them up.
So wax seals are a fun little way to add a unique touch to any project you might have, and this was something Kenzie finds fun, and I enjoy it myself. So she picked white, so we just popped it into the little melting pot there, poured it into a little spot. She was so specific about where, and then we let it sit and dry really carefully, and then when you pull it up, you have your image.
Now, see, we're going to do stickers on our Bible. Now let's get our Bible. You see, we already done that when we already made a video of that.
You need to speak up more.
We already did this video.
Yeah, so we wrapped it, you put the seal you wanted on it. Now you want to put your name on the inside.
So this is what we're going to put it right here.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to put it down or up. I want to put it down, like straight, like that. Like that.
Oh, like Kenzi?
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh.
And Kenzie wanted to personalize the inside of her Bible with her name. So we took one of the fun alpha stickers and put her name on the inside. And I think we went back later and she added a couple fun clear stickers to the inside too. So the inside covers are a nice way that you can make it unique as well.
Okay, so we're just wrapping it up for today, everyone, about my Bible. And so, thank you, Mom, for helping me.
You're welcome.
We use these stuff to do this, if you can see it. So, we're going to do more. Don't worry, and like and subscribe. And hit the notification bell. Thank you.